The end is truly near. XRP is the coin that will survive the catastrophic event that's coming. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Bitcoin has to go, and these other S coins do, but XRP will stay. From Conor McGregor. He learned from the events this week that not all blockchains are actually decentralized. And he said that a lot of people are telling him that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only truly decentralized networks. But the government are going to buy XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Give me your thoughts, he says. Okay, so this is interesting. Now we're going to be talking about this in full depth today, guys, that this is completely false, okay? Now, the Trump executive order signed in March 2025 established a strategic Bitcoin reserve using seized assets. But this post suggests a broader digital assets stockpile, including 3 altcoins, okay? But the issue with Solana here is what? People are asking, should they buy XRP or Solana? I'll tell you why you should buy XRP and not Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and even Solana, because of this article. So, Edward Snowden have flagged Solana's venture capital ties to a decentralization concern. So, this is the article, guys, and he described Solana as a born in prison due to its heavy VC funding, venture capitalist funding, suggesting that financial backing can impede a blockchain network's ability to operate independently. Coming down here, look at what happened. So this was an issue that happened a couple years ago, I think, and basically the VC funding influence. So he cited concerns echoed previously during a vote by A16Z against a proposal to deploy Uniswap v3 on the BNB chain. The venture firm used its 15 million Uniswap token holdings vote on February 5th to outweigh the initial 20 million. Okay, 80% votes for yes against the 5 million, 20% votes for no. This instance, Snowden suggested, highlighted the control that large, centralized stakeholders can wield over decentralized projects. A16Z, major holder of Solana, voted against this proposal, and then the rest voted for. Right? They basically swooped in and heavily voted against this proposal that was going on for Solana, guys. Right? Which means it's centralized. That's point number 1. And now we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting centralized as well, because ETFs and companies now control over 10% of Bitcoin supply. Right? Is Bitcoin at risk of creeping this centralization? You may be wondering, okay, XRP has centralization too because Ripple holds a large amount of XRP, right, due to the escrow. There's a difference. Ripple holding that much XRP, they can't just take it out and sell. Why? Because it's an escrow, right? Each month it unlocks a certain amount of XRP, but guess what? They actually, like 70% of the times, they put that XRP back into escrow for a later date, right? And then the rest, they may sell a bit and stuff, but that's how a project survives. Now, as we see here, category number of Bitcoin value today. ETFs hold $1.3 million. 1.3 million Bitcoin. Countries hold 500,000 Bitcoin. Public companies 800,000. Private companies 400,000. Bitcoin mining companies 99,000. DeFi 166,000. Okay, percentage of 21 million Bitcoin that's out there, actually less. ETFs hold 6% of the whole supply. Then add on 2%, 3%, 1%. That's like 10%, right? Imagine if all of them sold which they will. Why? Because these people don't take larger risks. If they see Bitcoin plummeting, immediately the sell button will be hit. And then you may be wondering, wait, Bitcoin has the anonymous user, which is the biggest dark cloud out there, and that is Satoshi Nakamoto. What if Satoshi sold all of his Bitcoin? Let's see.
Woke up tomorrow and decided to sell all of. What if Satoshi Nakamoto woke up tomorrow and decided to sell all of his Bitcoin? Well, it's believed that Satoshi has around 1.1 million total Bitcoin. That's around.
So 1.1 million Bitcoin Satoshi holds, okay? And then all of these people hold like 10% of the supply of Bitcoin, right? So it just keeps adding up at this point. If it was a coordinated sell-off, it's over. Listen very carefully. Please like today's video.
Around 5.5% of the entire circulating supply. If he woke up tomorrow and decided to market sell all of it, it would lead to the biggest price crash in Bitcoin in history. We're talking about a 50 to an 80% price dump. And that's,
which, by the way, I do believe will happen at some point. People have wondered the who is Satoshi, right? People have said it's Putin. Some people have said it's the United States government, the NSA, right? At some points, I do believe they will. This event will come into fruition, where they sell all the Bitcoin, right? To crash its price to unimaginable lows. That's part of the collapse until they bring it back up.
That's not even factoring in everyone else. There would be mass liquidations, mass panic. It would snowball into an even bigger dump.
So in total, if everyone sold, right, because it would be a cascading effect. If Satoshi sold, it's going to trigger every bot out there that he just moved his Bitcoin, right, getting ready. The prices will already start dumping. Then he comes into the market, market sells, right, with not there much being liquidity either, buy side liquidity. So he's going to take a huge price impact. It doesn't matter because he wants out. And it's just going to snowball, probably a 90% plus, like 99% probably of Bitcoin crashing down.
But this really isn't all that possible. Even if Satoshi wanted to market sell all of his Bitcoin, he wouldn't be able to. There simply isn't enough buy-side liquidity on exchanges. Furthermore, if he decided to move even one Bitcoin to an exchange, everyone would be notified. There are bots and thousands of people tracking his wallet to this day. Any sort of movement or activity, the masses would be notified immediately. Lastly, even if Satoshi could sell his 1 million Bitcoin, it would be the most bullish thing for Bitcoin in history.
That is true, guys. That's what I was saying. When that event is done and over with, I think they're going to revive it back up, right? But it's going to be very scary to buy Bitcoin because it's going to be quote-unquote dead at that point. That's when I want to buy Bitcoin. But who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
Doesn't want to be known, but if you want to find out, I mean, listen, everybody knows who was involved back then. In history,
Right.
Google,
Right.
you know, they got Dr. Adam Back. I mean, Craig Wright was there. A whole bunch of people were there. Who is Satoshi? Well, that's the author of the fucking white paper. I don't know if they flipped a coin, drew straws to say who writes it. But if you want to know which one it was, run some authoring software against it, because everybody involved, especially Dr. Beck, had written dozens of technical papers. Let me give you some clues. In Satoshi's white paper, every word that has dual spellings for American and British English is British.
It's all.
That's really odd because I think there's double spaces as well for the white paper, and the Riddlers use the same technique when writing. It's like double spaces, if I'm not mistaken.
British, yeah.
It's all British. Every sentence is followed by 2 spaces. Now that's a minority choice in most papers, but 2 spaces. Now, There are only two of the accused who were British, and only one of those has two spaces in every one of his papers. Figure it out, people. It'll take you 15 minutes. But he doesn't want to be known. I'm not going to name him.
Wow. So that's crazy, guys. Two spaces, huh? The Redditors use that same two spaces in their writings. I think it was Bear, if you look on his Reddit. Very odd. Then, not to mention, back in 2010, there was a Bitcoin overflow bug. An anonymous hacker managed to generate 200... Does that say billion? Yes, like 184 billion Bitcoin on August 15th, 2010, drastically exceeding the cryptocurrency supply limit. This incident revealed a major vulnerability in Bitcoin's code that failed to validate transactions properly, and people said it's the best blockchain out there when this happened. Literally created Bitcoin out of thin air. Right then they saved it. The hacker created over 8.7 thousand times more Bitcoins than the 21 million supply. Right? The hacker distributed these coins across 3 addresses, with 2 addresses each receiving an astounding 92 billion coins. If that happened today, by the way, right? If this hack didn't happen in 2010, but it happened today, Bitcoin's price would dump like 60%. Within 3 hours of reporting and 5 hours of the overflow bug attack, Satoshi Nakamoto and other Bitcoin developers issued a patch in version 0.3.1, which is 13, and they fixed it. 53 blocks were reorganized in the rollback. So guys, look at that. All these chains have issues and problems with them, except only one, which is the XRP ledger, right? The differences between Ripple, XRP, and the XRP ledger. So Ripple is a company providing payment solutions for banks. XRP is its native cryptocurrencies for fast, low-cost international transactions, and the XRP ledger is the decentralized blockchain supporting XRP and enabling features like NFTs and tokenization. Okay, so Ripple's focus on cross-border payments aligns with its ISO 20022 compliance, which, as noted in January 2025 article, allows XRP to process over $500 billion daily, okay, giving its edge in traditional finance integration. Right? So XRP hasn't had any issues, guys. I think except the beginning, that data of some blocks were lost. I think 20,000 or something, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, it's been flowing amazingly, guys, right? And look at all the other issues with these different blockchains. So not financial advice, and this is why you should pick XRP compared to any other coin. Not financial advice. What is this? See ya.